Well, I just want to introduce all the people that know Impact and love Impact to what we're all about. One of the faces we're all about. Bryant Hamstra became a great friend in Honduras on the last trip. You went from Hillside Church.
I did, yes, sir.
How'd you get to go?
How'd I get to go? Well, one of my very best friends goes to Hillside, and he and I have been talking about doing a water mission for a long time, and then they came up with the Impact one, so we signed up together. And so I only knew that one guy, and then he won a trip to Hawaii and bailed out of the Impact trip.
So you're all alone.
Yeah, so I'm all alone with 15 guys I don't know, but it worked out to be awesome. I made a lot of good friends, and it was a total blast.
Yeah, that's great. Great. So, how old are you, Brennan?
I am 38.
38 years old, and you go into Honduras in a remote village. What happened? What were some of the things that really happened to you in that 8 days that we were there?
In the 8 days we were there, it was, for me it was almost like an instant, I felt at home instantly, just at peace. We had a nice setup with the school where we were staying, but just the people there were so inviting and friendly. And I was telling my kids, the young men and the kids we worked with a lot were just so polite and just at peace. It really refocused me on the fact that almost everything that we think we need and have to have in America is all just worthless noise. All those people are so happy there with just the beauty that surrounds them and the relationships they have with each other. So it really turned me back to, the people are the center of what God wants us to focus on. And when we focus on cars and games and stuff, it just really creates a lot, at least for me, a lot of turmoil in me. And when I got rid of all that, I slept better in that air-conditioned, open-air room with 15 super loud snoring guys than I have in years, honestly.
That's great.
Yeah.
We call it pushing the reset button.
I would say that was very accurate, yeah.
Yeah. So you go there and it pushes your reset button. What did it do for you when you looked at them as far as relationships go?
I think one thing that hit home really, really big is that their families are super close, and I don't just mean like their parents and the kids, but you had everybody was a cousin and uncle, and it just seemed like that gave those people a lot of stability in their lives and a lot of like all my compañeros. I had one guy who was 34, one guy who was 19, one guy who was 14, and they were all cousins. So they all knew each other's families, they all watched after each other's kids, and it was just the community was truly a community. And I think it made me really realize in America how once you kind of leave the nest, you spread out different cities, states, and we don't have that kind of community. And I think to me, it's just like, you go to their house and they'd have 14 people there all hanging out.
Right.
This is what they did, and it was just it's a unique way to.
Well, one of the things that they do is, they invite you to your house.
Yeah.
To their house. That's not something we tell them to do. They just do this on its own. So, what happened to you, and what did you observe when you went to their house?
The house visits were one of my favorite things, and it was kind of cool because two other guys at Impact that were on the trip, we all kind of globbed together with the translator and so we were showing up unannounced, people we didn't really even know, and they were so welcoming. Like I would go to a different missionaries or mission guys in Compañero's house, and every time you'd walk in, they wanted to show you the pictures they had on the wall, which were, I guess, their treasured items. They'd have 4 or 5 pictures of their family, so almost everybody had a daughter or son who was off at school, and they would show you their picture and their graduation picture, and then they'd always bring out coffee. And one of my compañeros, we had to walk a couple miles to his house, but his wife had spent all day on an outdoor brick oven cooking pastries and stuff for us to eat, and it blew me away that they were so honored just to have us come to their house. We looked pretty rough. We were showing up in dirty shirts and backpacks of water and stuff, but all their kids were there, and it's just like a big event to have us in their house. Just the pride they had in their family.
So did that impact you being in that house?
Absolutely, yeah. You go into a house that you have one room that's a kitchen and one room that's a bedroom, and that's it.
Right.
And it blew me away that I live in a small house here, but by there it'd be a super mansion, and I always think, oh, my house is so small, and I look there, I'm like, these people have 6 kids, they're super happy, and they live in 2 rooms. It reset what I think you need. That's what I came back with. Like, I don't need any of this stuff, and I've been kind of getting rid of it for the last month. And it's just the more you free yourself up just to focus on your kids and your relationship with your people at your church and your relationship with God, it just blew me away what's happened in my life.
So, what happened to you spiritually as we spent 8 days there in that village? How would you put that in context?
It's almost hard to put into words. Because I went there and I felt like I was in a pretty good space, or pretty good spot spiritually. Last 3 years have been really dramatic change in my life in that regard. But those 8 days, I would say, it was a big leap of faith. I'm not a big traveler. I don't seek out danger. I don't even like downtown areas. To go to Honduras, where it's a little bit of unruly areas and stuff. I was a little worried and nervous just going there. But once we got there, I met Gustavo and all those guys. It was just really weird. It was like I felt like there was an umbrella of protection around us as we traveled through the cities and everything. And so I think what shocked me was that as soon as we got in that village, my mind went to rest. And it was almost like I was just having a ball. We were doing the outdoor showers and the outdoor toilets, and I can't sleep with noise, man. And then people were snoring, and I slept awesome. So I think it was just God saying, like, for me, I just felt like every day He was saying, like, I got you, man. You're my boy, and I'm taking care of you, and there's nothing. You don't need any of this stuff. You got me. I mean, I don't want to sound corny, but I really felt like every day when I went to sleep at 8:30 because we were tired, I would just lay there and look up at the ceiling, and I just felt like, man, everything I need has always been provided. And I worry and I stress, I'm going to be able to do this and this and this. And it's just we don't need any of that stress or worry, because everything we need is going to be provided. And I just really felt like, every night I go to bed, God was patting me on my head, like, it's okay, man, you did good today.
So if you were to speak to people who are watching this, and somebody's thinking about going on a trip, what would you tell them? What would be the benefits of this?
I would say to sign up immediately. I would say the benefits are that you will come back just more at peace with the fact that you are God's child and that you will be provided for as long as you seek Him. And now it's funny because we had that, I had my situation career-wise, and not to go off topic, but I asked Mark, what do you think of this? And you said, well, you asked God. And I was like, well, no, why would I do that? So it's like, and I need to ask Him about everything, right? I mean, so I've really turned all in that, still work in progress, but trying to turn everything back to, well, what's your will, God? What do you want me to do with this? How should I act? And when you look to that, the answers have become so clear for me. So I would say anybody looking to go on one of these trips, man, at least go once. I'm going back. We're already setting up another one, but I would say at least go once and just experience what it's like to live without any of the distractions that you have pulling you away from your relationship with God. When you don't have electricity, there's a lot less things to worry about. So you go and watch kids play soccer, and you play soccer with them, and you teach them how to play volleyball with their hands, not their feet, right? I mean, so just you really reconnect with all the beauty that God's provided us. It's all natural, and it's just all there.
So how would you rate this as far as your spiritual life, as far as experiences that you've had?
Off the chart. I mean, I couldn't even put it on the chart. I mean, it's the best thing I've ever experienced spiritually in my life.
And you want to go back?
Well, I mean, you told me we're going back. I'm setting up my own team. No, I'm recruiting. So if you want to go, I'm recruiting a team for next year. But yeah, I mean, I can't even put it on the map. And I mean, honestly, the hardest part for me about the whole trip was re-entering America. Because for about a 2 to 3 week period, I would say almost borderline depressed, just trying to figure out, like, how do I process, what I learned there and bring it back and apply it here. Because all the distractions we have here, it makes it hard to live. And I think that's what I really got, is the way those people were living was almost the way that God wants us to live. Not to say that we need to get rid of electricity and water and all that stuff. I'm just saying
simplicity.
Simplicity. Focus on your kids. Spend time with your family. Sit on the porch and enjoy the cool breeze. I mean, I remember one guy had made a little, really pretty little garden and flowers and a little grassy area, and the word he used was, I couldn't speak Spanish, so he's like basically telling us to sit. It was me and 3 other hillside guys, and he just kept saying tranquilo. like, y'all just sit. We wanted to go everywhere and see everything because we're Americans. And he's
Right.
like, y'all just sit, have some coffee. You know, sounds like my third cup of coffee for the day.
And be tranquil.
And we just sat, and I was just like, man, these people have it figured out. I mean,
That's right.
they work really hard, and their lives are hard. But I think I learned so much more from them than I possibly could have taught them, you know.
Well, in conclusion, Impact's tagline is that we change the life of a village and the heart of a man. Has that been true in your life?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, for sure. And I'm hoping it's going to change the heart of two little kids, you know. My kids hear me talk about this stuff all the time, and, you know, I hope that I can impart this on them early so they don't have to wait till they're 35 or 37, you know, to actually to feel this kind of contentment.
Well, I appreciate so much you sharing today, and you know, we'll look forward to next year.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm looking
Okay.
forward to it.